I'm just out of Transformers Rise of the Beast, and it's good. Quite good. Too long. So the film follows Optimus Prime and Anthony Ramos' character. For the life of me, I cannot remember the name of him. I think it was Nova or something like that. Okay, so at this point, in my opinion, the Transformers series is a bit like the Fast and Furious series. It gets a bit ridiculous after a while. Luckily, this film is not as long as some of the other ones. 2 hours and 45 minutes. um, but you could also say that this franchise has transformed from its original roots of being, say, car promotion to this big blockbuster series. Do you see the similarities between Fast and Furious and this now? Both have cars. Both have insane stunts done by cars. The only thing this one has is robots, but even Fast and Furious has that. So, okay, so I went into the film knowing well what I was probably going to end up getting. A stylized action flick that goes on for a bit too long and would be, for lack of a better word, fast food type of movie. It's not a masterpiece by any standard, but it's something you enjoy watching. It's not going to teach you many valuable lessons, or at least not anything you've heard it put into your brain like a million different times. Um, it's cheap, it's affordable. I don't mean like production cheap because it's not, it's 200 million, but it's made quickly, and I could go on making this comparison all day. But I got the idea, to give credit where credit is due. Sean Chandler has a very similar thing where he calls them Taco Bell movies. I'm just using my own kind of invention of what he's saying. So I'm not trying to plagiarize Sean Chandler at all. I think his is a superior version. I'm just using my own version of that to clarify this, because it really is the best term to give to such as Transformers or Fast and Furious. They are both, in their own right, fast food films. And the thing is that everyone here is committing. Obviously, Optimus Prime is a bit of a badass here now. But the plot for these guys is actually pretty good. Obviously, the film revolves around some sort of MacGuffin, so we go on this kind of Indiana Jones adventure, which kind of surprised me a bit, but didn't really surprise me at all, because we do kind of go on these in nearly every trip. And Anthony Ramos is the best part of this film for me, because he's not only just oozing charisma, he is hamming up a lot of the scenes he's in, but he's also really likable in the film. And that's a big thing for his character. I'm not going to get into character details because why would I do that? When I could just let you all go see the film yourself. But what's interesting about this film is that, first of all, it's not as long as the majority of these films have gone. They got to the point now where they're like at nearly 3 hours, so to just take 30 minutes off that was greatly appreciated. But I think the positive film are its lead cast, obviously the Transformers, come on, and Mirage. He's a nice addition to the film. I'm not a huge Transformers fan though, so like I don't have that kind of first film as my all-time favorite film or as something to go off of. That's just not what I do. No, I'm looking at it from a perspective of, is this entertainment? Is this film going to do anything other than sell merchandising? Yeah. I think this is not the best Transformers film. I think that belongs to either Dark of the Moon or Bumblebee, whichever one. It depends on the day you ask me. But I think this is not the worst. Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah. that and like the thing is that I don't hate any of the films in here, but like at the same time I'm not gonna pretend like that these are world class films. Does that make sense? These films are kind of fast food. Like you're there to escape reality, and that's what these films do the best, is escape that reality without having to give anything away. So what can I say about it? Now the mixed side of it is one, the runtime. While it is much smaller, it does feel like they have very low plot going on, and all this kind of spectacle going on. And it feels like the plot, like it's interesting, but I wish it would be a bit more plot driven. But it kind of works in the best scenes in this, so it's kind of mixed on that one. Also, I have to mention the editing. It's not bad, but there are a few scenes that could have been trimmed down a little bit in the editing room. Besides that, that's my mixed. Now we're going into the negatives. As the runtime, again, I feel like this film would have worked better as a 2 hour, 5 minute, fast paced adventure. Instead, it's nearly 2 hours and 20 minutes of, say, 45 minutes of plot, and like 2 hours, no, not actually 2 hours, but like, as a figure, 2 hours worth of action sequences. And we don't get much time to develop, particularly one character that's the main. We only get spoken dialogue with one of the characters. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. But it is a rarity, in my opinion, because we should care about that character too. Um, but like besides that, it's a perfectly good film. Just don't go in thinking it's gonna change your life or anything. Um, so yeah, that's kind of all I really need to say about Transformers: Rise of the Beast and Earth: Revenge of the Fallen. What is wrong with me? Um, but yeah, besides that, that should be Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Oh, one last thing. They do have this interesting concept that they're kind of teasing for the future, and I'd like to see more of that. I wish there was a bit more expansion on that idea, but it would have been longer, so guess I'm just posting it at this short amount of time. But anyways, that's my kind of one and done review of this film. Will I probably go back to see it? Probably not, not unless someone like, asked me to go see it. If I do see it, that's probably the situation. But then, yeah, this was the big release for this week. I was lucky I actually got to this kind of early showing where I was. But anyways, besides that, it's like a 7 out of 10 film. It's good. It's not great. It's not the best Transformers film in my opinion. But hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And judging by box office numbers, it certainly ain't broke. So yeah, that kind of wraps up my review for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. And I'll see for either the Flash or the Boogeyman next. That depends on what I get to. But besides that, subscribe, like, and have a good day after this. See you in the next one.